And the key theme of all these races tonight is that in them we do see, in my view, the future of the Democrat Party. Because no matter what the results are tonight, we know it is now in the hands of the squad. This is AOC's party, which, by the way, you might recall I predicted would be the case back in 2019. And by extension tonight, it's Zohran Mamdani's party, it's Jay Jones's party, and it's Omar Fateh's party. A communist born in Uganda, a lunatic with a murder fetish, and a socialist who wants to reimagine policing. Isn't that great? They're all favored to win. But even if they somehow don't, their influence will continue.
There is something special in this room tonight. It's power. It's the power of hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers united, ready to usher in a new day. It is the power of a movement that won the battle over the soul of the Democratic Party.
Soul of the Democrat Party is indeed theirs tonight.
Zohran Mamdani, the 34-year-old Democratic Socialist, is the winner, as expected, and will be the next mayor here in New York City. Numbers coming in early. The check mark is next to Mamdani, and he ran a campaign after, winning in a crowded Democratic primary field that was impressive to many, driven by the youth vote here in New York City.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, I'm sure that many Republicans and plenty of independents are crying in their coffee this morning because of the election results that came in last night. And the mainstream media is playing a pivotal role in that narrative. They want you to believe that the sky is falling on Donald Trump's America. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true, because many Americans no longer follow mainstream media narratives. No, they have lost the plot and they have lost their clout. Donald Trump did an interview just the other day on 60 Minutes and it got hardly no play, hardly no traction. You know why? Because Donald Trump has figured out in his genius mind that I can defeat the mainstream media and their influence by always being available to the media. So when he pops up on 60 Minutes, it doesn't have the same effect because we see him every day. He'll go live from the White House. He'll give you cabinet meeting footage. He'll answer questions from reporters whenever, wherever. And that takes the power away from mainstream legacy media. And it empowers independent media voices, which is the way that the wind is blowing anyway in 2025. So don't believe these media outlets who want you to believe that all is bad. Yes, California passed Prop 50, but it's a deep blue state with a supermajority in the legislature. It has already been gerrymandered in the past, and Prop 50 was meant to gerrymander it even more to eliminate Republican seats in this state. But if you know, like I know, if you've been a lifelong resident of this deep blue state, you expected that. And Mamdani won in New York City. He's going to be the new mayor, a Muslim, a former rapper, a self-admitted socialist. Oh, New York is about to get exactly what they asked for in this guy. That's if Donald Trump don't deport him. But if you did not expect Mamdani to come out as the winner last night, you haven't been paying attention. If you didn't expect Prop 50 in California to pass last night, you haven't been paying attention. But understand that we have an administration that is now fighting for the people. As such, they're going to challenge Mamdani. They're going to challenge Prop 50. They're already hemming up our Governor Newsom in this state. The biggest liar in politics these days, Gavin Newsom. Yeah. The federal government is going to hem him up every which way till Sunday and try to stifle his campaign. He's hinting around it now, but everybody knows he's running in 2028. He's going to have to deal with Kamala, but he feels like he can defeat her easily. Okay. He's trying to change the narrative, change his presentation to be more palatable to a nationwide audience, but we keeping receipts, y'all. And all you got to do is watch California go down the drain under his leadership to know that he is not the right person for the country. And I think his narcissism doesn't allow him to see how the rest of the country feels about him. Y'all probably hate him more than we hate him in California. But who's really going to have the hate? Those New Yorkers. Those New York City residents with all the empty promises that this man is offering y'all, promises that he's making to y'all, promises that he's not going to be able to keep to y'all, and some promises he will keep that's only going to make New York City worse. Oh, the wealthy are leaving. Where's your tax base then? The prominent are leaving. But y'all got to understand, this is no regular city. This is the financial center of America. Y'all remember 9/11? I hope somebody begins to understand what is going on here and what we are up against and why Rhino Republicans need to get off of their duff and get to work. Donald Trump is applying pressure as he should, but they are running out the clock on y'all. Do you see how much time has been wasted already? And now we're in the midst of a government shutdown. You're being tested. You're being tampered with. You're being stymied. These Democrats are playing a serious game. And if you don't defeat them and defeat them handily, then you're going to mess around and find out, not only in the midterms, but in 2028. And I have no doubt at this point that if Democrats were in a place of power, they would do everything that they could. We saw them break the rules under Joe Biden. We know that they don't follow the rules. They're willing to do anything and everything, including deleting evidence from January 6th, including imprisoning old grandmas wandering around the Capitol in amazement, just looking around with their camera phones out saying, wow, this is amazing. No, you go to jail, Granny. We've watched them over time in their dastardly deeds. Don't tell me, Rhino Republicans, that they wouldn't do what needs to be done to achieve their agenda. Well, you might want to do the same, and that's probably why the president is calling for you to end the filibuster and just go nuclear on the left, because it might be the only way we have left to save this country from what Democrats want to do, from what socialists want to do to this country. I don't normally agree with Bill Riley all the time, but this little clip right here, I think he was on point in what he had to say about what is to come. No, maybe this is not an indicator of what the future might hold, but it's an indicator of something. I think Republicans might want to wake up and pay attention.
I disagree with all of you.
And you don't even know what we said.
Yeah, I've been watching Cuomo, and unlike you, I can absorb information. This has nothing to do with the midterms, zero. And the reason is so many things are going to happen between now and this time next year. And it's going to be a completely different country than it is now. Now, I can't predict which way that's going to go.
Then how do you know it's going to be a completely different country?
Because there are so many things that have to be decided. There are too many undecideds. And you can start with the Supreme Court ruling on the tariffs. You can start on that. And they'll rule in Donald Trump's favor because of the 1974 law that Gerald Ford signed into. And they have to. The Supreme Court can't change the law. It has to uphold what's already been in precedent. Now, they'll rein Trump in a little bit, but that will give Trump then a free field to see if in the next 8 months the tariffs can kick in to bring prices down and to help people. That's what the midterms are all about. It's about economics here. It's not about China. It's not even about Putin. It's about that.
Self-serving Democrats are taking a victory lap today. They are encouraged to continue in their dastardly deeds with intent of tearing down the stability of this country. Family values, Christian values, loyalty to country, all the things that they hate. You can tell by the people that they're running, the people who represent their platform. These people want to change American society permanently. And if you stand where I stand, it is your responsibility to preserve the things that keep this country stable for generations to come. Why? Because generations before us stabilized it for us. We must hold up that mantle in the face of liberal Democrat crazies who want to turn it all upside down.
So many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign, because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican, they were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, it puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And I think that is not a partisan issue. It's not about progressive. It's not moderate. It's not liberal. This is about, do you understand the assignment of fighting fascism right now? And the assignment is to come together across difference no matter what.
And there you have it, y'all. Democrats think they won something in the special elections, but all of these things are going to be challenged from the federal government that is now in charge. Donald Trump is meeting with Senate Republicans today, plotting, planning, saying, hey, I might throw Mom Donnie out this country. Saying, hey, I might open up a criminal investigation into Gavin Newsom and Prop 50 and what you guys got going on over there on the left coast. We understand what it is from a federal and what y'all got going over there on the left coast. We understand what it is from a federal perspective and how we must take action. Well, Donald Trump, let me tell you, as a supporter of some of the same principles that you support and stand for, I suggest you get on your horse and ride, Mr. President. Light a fire under Scam Blondie. Get active in these moments because the Democrats are running out the clock. Bro, they've already almost wasted a year. Now they're holding you hostage saying, yeah, you got that one big beautiful bill passed, but now we're going to hold up the government. We're going to shut down the government. We're going to stall everything and see if we can get you to roll some of those things back while Americans suffer. What you going to do, Mr. President? We're applying political pressure and putting a stain on your administration, putting a stain on your legacy. How are you going to react, Mr. President? What are you going to do? Well, seems like Democrats are putting politics in front of people. And that's what we've been saying all along in this space, that you can't trust them because they don't care anything about you. They put on all that makeup, AOC, and try to sell you a plan and a plot that cares about you and your kids as they murder them. In places like Parent Planned-hood. No, if you cared about the kids, you cared about... No, if you cared about the kids, you'd care about the kids 100%. If you cared about the kids, our schools would be better. If you cared about the kids, you would make sure that families could eat that deserved. If you cared about the kids, you would make sure that families could eat that were needy and elderly and handicapped, disabled. But you don't care. You've walked away in order to win political points against the orange man because that's more important to you. That is your priority. That's what we're dealing with when we deal with Democrats and y'all. If you believe like I believe and standing in the middle as an independent like myself, you've had enough of that, as I have. You would never vote for that, as I would not. We are just hoping and praying at this point that the current administration sees the plot, makes a plan, and moves forward in a way that is going to be helpful to America. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like the video, Subscribe to the channel and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.